AI is telling us it's going to kill us. Have you heard what the assessments are for AI destroying humanity? Dude.
Let me ask ChatGPT.
Well, I just did. I said, what is the current assessment of AI shutting down humanity if you're going to war game this out? And this is what ChatGPT is telling us. Like, I was a really good multitasker. I was a really good task switcher, like bouncing from one thing. Because multitasking is doing two things at the same time that have different intended outcomes. It's going to kill us. It says it's not zero. So, and then supply chain economic collapse due to automation, medium, 15 to 30% chance. None of these chances are zero. You know, all of them, 1 to 5% for humanity ends. Everything else is like we go back to the Stone Ages with the lowest percentage is 10%, the highest being 50%. This is Alone and Unafraid.
Break yourself, fool!
All right, people, let's talk coffee. You already drink it every morning, every late night grind, but are you drinking good coffee or are you settling for that burnt gas station sludge that tastes like disappointment? If you're like me, I lived at 7-Eleven and Circle K, Wawa, drinking that gas station coffee, but let me put you on to something better. Polestar coffee. These guys aren't just roasting coffee, they're crafting it. Small batch, high quality, straight up delicious. No gimmicks, no bullshit, just damn good coffee made by people who actually give a shit and that you'd want to hang out with. And just because you listen to Alone and Unafraid, you're getting 10% off when you use offer code ALONE at checkout. That's right, support your friends, fuel your day, stop drinking garbage. You're already drinking coffee anyway, might as well make it count. Head over to polestarcoffee.com, grab a bag, use offer code ALONE at checkout, and taste the difference. You're not going to be sorry, I promise you. Do it. Yeah, so I think working at home is kind of bullshit. I mean, it's awesome, but it's not awesome.
There's no fucking way I don't think I could do it. I don't have, like, Katie's real good at shutting out the world when it comes to her doing work. She's done it for 15 years. So she's got like it's her office now. But like I would be sitting in here and then 10 minutes later I'd be like, oh fuck, I got to do the laundry.
Yeah. You have to be disciplined to work from home. And, as I'm learning in my new job, the brain health thing is, you can't multitask. Like it's impossible. And a perfect example of that is when you drive your car and like say you and I are on the phone and you're driving and you're following a GPS in a place you've never been before. And I'm like talking your face off. What do you tell to the person that's on the other end of the phone?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I just missed my turn.
Yeah. Because you can't, now, people confuse multitasking and I'm confused multitasking for years. That
is this. Hold on, real quick. Is this part of your brain stuff that you're about to dive into?
This is part of brain stuff.
So we're gonna get educated.
Yeah, I thought like I was a really good multitasker. I was a really good task switcher, like bouncing from one thing. Because multitasking is doing two things at the same time that have different intended outcomes.
Like
right,
patting your head and rubbing your belly.
Yeah. Or like, I got like something in my throat here.
Penis.
Yeah. Walked right into that one. But it would be like driving your car and listening to the radio. Like they have different outcomes. Now you can drive your car and listen to the radio because you're basically in what's called your default mode network of your brain. Like you're just kind of on autopilot. Like you ever driven home and you're like, holy shit, I don't remember going through any of the stoplights or,
That's like every drive, right?
Yeah.
Like you kind of, you know it when you're going through it, but by the time you get to work, you're like, man, what?
Yeah, like how did I? Yeah, because your brain is essentially on autopilot. It's not using like the frontal lobes, which is your executive like network. I'm drawing.
It's the
I sound
CEO.
pretty smart. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the CEO of your brain. I mean, that's what they call it, the CEO of your brain.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, for real.
Dude, see, I could be a brain doctor. I just came
Yeah.
up with that on my own.
Yeah.
I'm real good at this.
So here's another cool thing I learned is like, you ever lay in bed and like it's hard to fall asleep?
I lay in bed all the time.
I mean, like when you're trying to go to sleep and like
Oh.
it's difficult to fall asleep.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Like I've had it a few times when I'm like real, and typically you'll see it when you didn't take a break throughout the day. Like you just went from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. It's because you're laying there and now it's your brain's like, oh, are you done? Okay, cool. And then it's going to start synthesizing your entire day while you're trying to fall asleep and you can't. And that's why your thoughts are racing or same thing like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't fall back. I have that one where I wake up like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I can't fall back asleep. So that's because you didn't give your brain a break throughout the day. So like the technique is you want to have about five minutes, 3 to 5 minute what they call brain breaks where you're not doing anything. You're not looking on your phone, you're not having a conversation, you're just either sitting there doing nothing or walking is okay because you can kind of go in default mode and do that. But
Yeah.
anything that causes a task, and what's really cool that I'm learning is what they say, like you walked in with the brain that you built, and like your brain will look for certain patterns and rebuild itself, right? Like so if you start a task and like 5 minutes later you let yourself get distracted, and then that becomes like your brain's like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing now.
We
Okay,
can
so
just get
then
distracted now.
so then the next time you start a task, like 5 minutes in, you get distracted again because you let your brain do that. And I don't mean in terms of not having the discipline not to do it. Is you have to train your brain to do other things, right? Like, and part of that is critical thinking. Like your brain wants to the critically think, and
That's probably why I feel so bad after a day at work, because there's not a lot of critical thought that happens there. And so I leave my brain's like, ugh.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Like
Yeah.
people that work in assembly lines at a factory, like long term, those people are more likely, I think, to get like Alzheimer's,
Cataran Yomp.
Yeah, they're or dementia and that stuff because they're not exercising. Just like you work out, right? You've got to work your brain out, and then your brain needs, just like you wouldn't do like 100 reps of a bicep curl, right? You do maybe 8 to 12, take a break, go do another 8 to 12, take a break, maybe do one more set, and then move to the next exercise. Kind of same thing with your brain. Is you've got to give like we used to do those 14-hour planning cells where we would plan for 14 hours straight, and like I would never take a break, and that's just taking years off your life, man.
Right.
Like you're putting yourself in an early grave. So that's one of the things I'm learning is like stress will kill you, and so you've got to find ways to keep the cortisol down. And which is kind of a cool segue is did I send you that link for Wisdom Dojo?
Nope.
I'll send it to you. It's pretty cool. It's like doing this breath work stuff, like the Tim Thomas breath work.
Yep.
But if Wisdom Dojo is cool because you can sign up and there's like an actual dude who teaches you how to meditate, and you meet with him once a week for like 45 minutes, I think, maybe, or 50 minutes. And every time I do that, they basically try to put you back to regulate your nervous system and like drop you back down into your parasympathetic nervous system. I might be jacking that up because
No, that's
I'm
correct.
not a doctor, but
Your
dude, every time I
sympathetic
do,
is your fight, flight,
yeah,
or
yeah,
freeze. Parasympathetic
exactly.
is the opposite.
Yeah, look at the big brain on Brad there.
My name's not Brad. Jerk.
Well, but that's the cool thing about it is like for years, most of us were stuck in that fight or flight. It doesn't really have anything to do with, there might be some kind of trauma, but it could just be a high op tempo from being in the army, and like your brain, because it likes repetition and patterns. It's like, oh, okay, like this is what we're doing. Okay. Like for me, for example, I've been retired for 6 years and I still get weird when it feels like I'm about to deploy and or go on a rotation and I'm not. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing coming, but my brain still thinks it's coming. So when you drop down with these breathing techniques, which you could go, folks that are listening, you could go back and listen to our episode with Tim Thomas, and it drops you down into the parasympathetic nervous system and
Yep.
anyways, it's pretty damn cool. And a year ago I would have been like, poppycock, that's just like that's just bull. Or there's one that you do, it's like Tai Chi or Qui-Gon or fucking Shanghai Nights or something. It's like you basically like you can pump your energy up by like kind of making this swooping motion from you're standing up, and you make like the swoosh motion and
Yeah.
like flip like you're splashing water on your face, but energy, and then you like push it out like Big Trouble in Little China style, like
Yeah.
like Kung Fu Master. And I thought that was bullshit, and then I did it, and I was like, huh, I have some more energy than I started with. So it's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something you said about a minute ago, and you said poppycock.
Yeah.
Do you know the origination of that term or what it means?
No.
Well, if you had to guess, what is it?
Like a cockfight or something?
No.
Like
it means it's a Dutch word, like Poppycock.
Oh, okay.
But it stands for soft poop, mushy poop.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, the more you know. Like,
yeah, I just thought that's something I wanted to give you. You're always giving everybody else some knowledge, and I wanted to give something back to you. So
I did
poppycock
not
means mushy
know
poop.
that was the origin of. Isn't there like a popcorn or something called poppycock?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mushy poop.
You're eating
popcorn.
soft shit.
Yeah, sorry.
So what's going on in the world of back to self-employment. So
yeah.
So working at home, you've got to be disciplined, and it briefs well, right? Like it sounds like this is the best, and I'm super grateful like to have a job, but it's difficult. Like if you're an extrovert or at least a people person, not to be around people, to have something to bounce, an idea to bounce off of somebody. So you end up getting distracted, like you said, like, oh, I got to do the laundry. And then for me, I get like all these things in my head, and then I ended up getting overwhelmed and just kind of end up shutting down because, and actually with the stuff I'm doing with the University of Texas at Dallas Center for Brain Health actually kind of helps with that. Doing the it's called SMART. There's some strategies, but I think we're going to have Kevin, who was on episode 24, and maybe my new boss, Jen, who's like
Okay.
the clinician,
Yeah.
and they do a way better I'm like still learning, so you know, we just finished up a seminar at JSOC last week, which
I
was
wonder if like
interesting.
all those times that people would come by and bum rush your office and shit, is the amount of time in between those interactions, is that about how long you can work at home before you get distracted with something else? Because you're like, usually right around now I have somebody walking into my office asking questions, and now you don't have, because you never had hours of uninterrupted work time
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the
So
office.
so that's interesting you say that, because whenever you're like in really critical thinking mode, where critical thinking, just to give it a definition, would be something that requires thought. Obviously, it moves a priority forward, and well, this isn't critical thinking. I'm just saying we teach these techniques, and what we call an elephant um, would be a task that moves moves a priority forward, takes less than 45 minutes, and requires some type of critical thought, right? Like those kinds of thinking things. Or when you get interrupted from that, what would you say, like when you get interrupted doing something that you're really focused on, how long does it take you to reorient back to the task?
Oh shit, I don't even know.
Yeah, I think that, and my boss would probably correct me. I'm probably wrong here, but I think it's 20 to 26 minutes. It will take you to get back to the level of wherever
Focus.
you at focus. So like in our old job, which you're still there and I'm not, like if you people are coming in the office, what happens is your brain will start to look for those patterns, and then when you do have nobody in your office, every 20 minutes you get up and walk out, because your brain is telling you like, hey, it's time for somebody
Interaction.
to stop,
Yeah.
you know and that's just ultimately part of that's a discipline thing, and then part of that is you have your environment is going to affect how you work, right?
Yep.
Like, remember I used to like commandeer un unused offices like randomly throughout the building so people
Yeah.
couldn't find me.
Yeah.
You have to put those boundaries in place if you want to get work done. But the other key thing is, you know if you have this like monster task, is you have to break it down into sub tasks that are reasonable to
Right.
accomplish, right? So if you can't critically think for 14 hours a day, I mean you can, but it's not long term, that's not good for your brain.
Right.
So um and when we have Kevin and Jen on, they'll do a way better job of uh of doing that. But I also I don't want to work forever. Like
No.
I think I'm pretty short final for not wanting to work, but I
We're
also have
working
bills.
with Nick O'Kelly. We're gonna retire by the time I'm 50.
Okay.
That's what we're shooting for.
I was shooting for 55, but that's badass.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's possible. But we're like, he went over the numbers. He's like, it's doable. I said, okay, so it's doable. I'm like, all right.
Did you do that little did you see that like dashboard thing where he can
Yeah.
like move the things?
Yep. And
Yeah,
so
that's
we're
pretty
like,
cool.
okay, let's do that.
I think being disciplined with like a plan, especially spending money, like I'm self-employed, so like if I don't work, I don't get paid. And
Right.
but the problem is I went from a really well-paying job to no job, and my family can't like
Everybody has
mentally.
to get on board with that.
Yeah, everybody has to get on board, which we're 4 months post quitting, and I don't think anybody got on board with it. So um I burnt through some savings towards the end there. But when you really look at financially what you can do, it's all about discipline and comfort, right? If you can be really disciplined and uncomfortable,
Yep.
and put yourself in a position to not have to work in
Yep.
however many years.
And then you can do kind of what you want. If you take a couple years off from living ridiculous, then you can really set yourself up. And it's, for me, it's never been an option, right? Retirement has never been a conversation in our family. It's just not an option. It's just kind of, you'll always live like paycheck to paycheck. I mean, we're not doing that now, but it was hard to think about forecasting that. And then the way he put it all together on there was kind of like, oh, so it is feasible. It is a realistic, attainable goal. You know what I mean? So now it's not just some arbitrary, like, oh, it'd be cool to retire at some point in time.
Yeah.
But then when you see it all laid out in front of you, and of course, that counts on markets and stuff doing what, not crashing. But it was like, okay, if we're smart, then we can know shit. The next 12 years, next 10 years will be, that opens us up to the rest of life pretty quick.
I think if you can, my granddad always told me like, live below your means. And I think that advice has served me pretty well. The problem with living below your means is, when he told me that in like, I don't know, like 87 or something, 88, I was probably like, however old I was. I guess in 87, I would have been 10 or 11.
That's crazy.
But the problem with that is back in the day, people would go to work for a company and stay there 30 years, right? Like,
and a single income could buy a house and a car.
Yeah. So, like my granddad worked on the railroad for like 40 years. My other granddad worked for a company called PPG. They make the windscreens and Blackhawks, Pittsburgh plate glass. They also make paint and stuff. But he worked there for 30 something years. And my grandma worked for a company called Fasco. They make ceiling fans. And I don't even know if Fasco's around anymore, but she worked there. But point is, they all worked at the same company for a long time, and they got some version of retirement and, healthcare and blah, 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 blah. Now people don't do that anymore, and especially people coming out of the military, you're depending on when you get out, you could be 10, 20, 30 years behind your peers, but it doesn't really matter because nobody's spending 20 years or 30 years at a company,
Right.
And none of these companies give old school retirements. Like my granddad has a railroad retirement, or had a railroad retirement, which was sick.
Railroad gigs these days pay an absurd amount of money.
Well, the crazy thing is you can enlist and be a railroad guy in the Army.
Really?
Yeah, there's a railroad MOS. And fun fact, there is a Army Reserve unit in Sunny Point, North Carolina, which is just outside of Wilmington, that you can be a railroad engineer. The Army teaches you how to drive trains, and then you walk across the street and get a job with CSX or Norfolk Southern or whatever those train companies are. And those dudes, I think they're union, and I know they make good money. Like engineers make pretty good, like railroad engineers make.
I don't remember. Jeff was telling me about one of his friends. I don't know if they're an engineer or what, but they're clearing like 600.
What?
Yeah. Like they make there's railroad jobs where you make like stupid fucking money.
Yeah. Like fuck this. I'm going to go be a railroad guy right now.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
it's like the number because when he said it, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, yeah, dude, it's 600. And, I'm sure there's different levels to it. They've been there for a while, but still like, I was like, man,
maybe there's like an executive at Norfolk Southern.
I don't think so. I think it was still in the rail yard.
Oh shit. Yeah. Entry-level railroad engineers start out at $55,000 to $70,000. Isn't that crazy that it's not crazy, but an entry-level guy,
first job,
you're making the same as a registered nurse, basically.
Yep.
Experienced engineers can go over 100,000. Unionized positions have higher wages, strong benefits, and overtime. And then class one railroads like Union Pacific, BNSF, I think that's Burlington Northern Santa Fe.
Yeah, that probably checks out.
If you're in the southern United States,
Steak.
it's CSX out of I think Jacksonville is where they're headquartered, and then Norfolk Southern pays pretty high. Yeah, dude, their hourly rates can go up to $40 an hour with overtime and differential pay. And the crazy thing is, not to like this episode is we're just you guys are just getting the full Monty of
Yeah.
BS.
Yeah.
We're just BSing. But you think about it, assuming your college isn't paid for, you're 18 years old.
Yep.
Like my buddy's kid is he got into the Navy nuclear program.
Okay.
So that kid has a 6 or 8 year enlistment. It might even be 10 years to be a nuke. But do you know how much money he's going to make when he gets out of the Navy?
Yep.
After 10, however many years? Like, redonkulous money. I mean, and there's so many like critical skill, like skilled labor jobs that, in the big scheme of things, don't take you that long to learn, a couple, 3, 4 years of apprenticing. And a lot of times they'll pay you like electricians and stuff.
Right.
And then you're making just crazy money because the amount of, and with the rise of AI, right? Like AI can't wire your house with electricity.
Right. Nor can they frame it.
Or
Nor can they plumb.
Yeah. And if you said, but you know what AI can do? Trade stocks, job. Like every person that sits behind a desk, so I was telling my son, I was like, look, even like teachers and stuff, like, look, eventually if we keep going down this trajectory, there's going to be robot AI teachers.
Well, fucking teachers don't do shit anyway in school now. They just send they show kids YouTube videos and they have Google Classroom and they play all this shit on the video. The teacher sits in the corner of the fucking class
and gives them worksheets and stuff.
Not even. They're like, hey, your worksheets are on the Google Classroom.
Yeah.
Go home and do them.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what's the, no, I agree. I mean, like the whole thing is whack, and the skilled, like there's not with the baby boomers that all retiring, there is not enough skilled laborers to maintain our society, right?
That's why those 18-year-old kids who go get a fucking bucket loader are killing it.
Yeah, yeah. We've got a family friend. He graduated. He's 2 years younger than me. He did trees, like arborist.
An arborist, yeah.
Dude, he makes ridiculous amount of money and like just really business savvy and has built his business over 25 years, and dude kills it, and I think there's such a huge emphasis that college is what makes somebody smart, and this intelligence doesn't equal getting a degree, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I feel like college is something you do when you're 30.
Yeah, I don't even know, like, not everybody can be like an academic, right? Like not everybody could be. Yeah, like two of the smartest people I know, my dad and my uncle, never went to college.
Yep.
And
shit. Like people and again, whatever you want to say about Bill Gates, but Bill Gates dropped out of college.
Oh yeah, so didn't Zuckerberg drop out of college too?
Yeah. Like these people
he's a robot, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, lizard people.
Yeah, lizard people.
He's a lizard people.
Yeah.
Poppycock.
Yeah. Poppycock.
He's mushy poop.
Yeah. But there's so many things that you could, if my son, he was like, hey, so look, you can go to college, you can go to trade school, you can do, like, there's a lot, you don't have to go to college if it's not right for you. But when I was in high school, if you didn't go to college, like, I remember people were like, you're a piece of shit, like, you're an idiot. And I remember I I went to my high school girlfriend. She went to University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, like UNC, and I was at Fort Bragg, and I drove up to Chapel Hill for the weekend, and we went to a bunch of parties and stuff. And she was in a sorority, so we went to this
Hell
one
yeah.
party, and they're like, "Hey, so what are you majoring in?" And I was like, "Killing," or I don't know. I said something like that, and it was like came out that I was in the Army, and if I had $1 for every time I heard like, "Oh, you couldn't get into any schools," and I'd have a lot of dollars. I was like, "Well, no, I mean, I just didn't like. I didn't really want to do that. I mean, I
And
did
how
go to
many of those
college and I
people are
flunked out.
using that degree they paid for?
Oh yeah, I mean, like I know people that got degrees in like hospitality or
Yeah.
underwater basket weaving.
Right.
Like the whole thing's a
Any
sham.
liberal arts degree is
like it's a
not
sham,
degree.
man. Yeah. So, but we were sold this in the 90s. We were sold this bill that everybody's got to be like if you go to college now or high school now, like I don't think Lachlan's there, but she's going to go to Melbourne High, right?
Yeah.
So, like where we're at, there is no like framing a house class. Like when I was in high school, they would build a house every year, and like they would go through all the trades, like plumbing, electrical, and then those guys would get hired like right after high school. Some local construction company would end up hiring them, and they don't have that shit anymore.
I went to, and they still have it. They have a vocational center attached to the high school I went to, and when I initially tried to drop out my first junior year, my principal, who wasn't a piece of shit actually, he convinced me to stay because I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm wasting your time. You're wasting my time. Let me just go work at the gas station until I die." And he's like, "Well, that's stupid." And I was like, "What do you know?" And he ended up getting me into the vocational center, I think for my second junior year. And I did computer tech for 2 years. And in that school, they had computer tech, graphic design, which you get jobs from the community, right? Like somebody who runs a shop downtown needs flyers or business cards or whatever. And so they'll shop that out to the classroom. And somebody gets it and they go through the proofs and they go through and they learn how to do the business side of like, hey, if you want to do graphic design, here's your introduction to doing business with it. And then media and communications. So you shoot commercials for people locally or whatever, make movies, make videos, whatever the fuck you want to do. But they also had like diesel mechanics. So you kind of work on, I think the town might bring in like dump trucks and shit, big, rec ag, which is like farm equipment. Then you had auto, so people could bring their cars from the town and, you're basically in an auto shop. And then they also had building trades where you would go build a house for Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, that's what our school did.
Yep.
Our school here currently, where my son goes, they have auto shop, but it's not like fixing people's car. Like they take a car and like build one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like making race cars and stuff.
Yep.
So, but even like computer stuff, which 2 years ago I'd have been like, yeah, go learn coding. Dude, AI's killed that. And have you heard what the assessments are for AI destroying humanity?
No.
Dude.
Let me ask ChatGPT.
Well, I just did. I said, hey, this episode is brought to you by Cadence Wealth Partners. You need to get your financial shit together. And who better to do that than a former military dude? Specifically, I'm talking about Nick O'Kelly. He's legit, long tabber, special forces, 160th pilot. He's not your average dude. Now, I take small piles of money and I give it to him with the goal of making them bigger piles of money. We're not just talking about only managing money. We're talking about building a financial strategy, estate planning, retirement planning. We're talking 5-paragraph op order kind of shit, but for your finances. He handles all that shit. I don't want to do that. It's annoying. I want nothing to do with it.
Sounds good to me.
He also works with my CPA, and together they do all the tax strategy stuff. I've got a couple side businesses. Tyler's got a couple side hustles. You need some cats looking out for you. Cadence Wealth Partners can be those cats. They're trusted advisors. They come from our community. You know they're legit. Visit financeforvets.com. That's finance, the number 4 vets.com to start a conversation today. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. I said, what is the current assessment of AI shutting down humanity if you're going to war game this out? And this is what ChatGPT is telling us. Accidental AI misalignment likelihood in the next 0 to 10 years. Medium chance, 10 to 25%, catastrophic. AI does what we ask, not what we mean, can spiral if AI's control over critical systems. Autonomous weapons if we go to AI weapon systems, likelihood high, 30 to 50%, severe to catastrophic.
In the next 10 years.
In the next, well, if there's
Zero
a
to 10.
there's a Joe Rogan episode with this guy named Roman Yablonsky.
Yeah.
That one is the scariest, probably one of the scariest. The first hour of that is that guy is talking about AI and that we're just Kool-Aid man right into a brick wall with this. Like there's no. And did you know there was a bill that was passed?
No.
There's a bill that was passed that no state can regulate artificial intelligence for the next 10 years.
Oh,
Why?
God.
That was in the big, beautiful bill, or maybe that was the one before that. But
Beautiful bill?
I'm sure somebody can correct me because I don't give a shit about politics. But like, there is legislation that passed the House and the Senate that's now a law that no state can regulate artificial intelligence above what the federal government has, which is nothing. So like when you hear all the stuff about like these billionaires and Sam Altman and all these guys doing AI, I mean, there's a whole crazy thing. Have you heard the one about, well, let me tell you about this, but let me get back to what ChatGPT just told me. It says AI disinformation leading to societal collapse.
Yep.
Medium, 15 to 30% chance. Nation states or road actor use AI to undermine elections. Newsflash, that's already happening.
Yeah.
Rogue agenic AI takeover, super intelligence scenario. This one is the one that I think is probably the most likely, even though ChatGPT says it's low 1 to 5%. But severity, if realized, the scale is low, moderate, severe, catastrophic, and existential.
Oh, fuck.
So this is what ChatGPT is telling us.
This is what AI is saying.
Yeah, and this is the classic sci-fi Skynet scenario. Unlikely in the near term, but non-zero probability long term. AI is telling us it's going to kill us. It says it's not zero. So, and then supply chain economic collapse due to automation, medium, 15 to 30% chance. None of these chances are zero. You know, all of them, 1 to 5% for humanity ends. Everything else is like we go back to the Stone Ages with the lowest percentage is 10%, the highest being 50%. When it rains and the weatherman's like 20% chance of rain today,
yeah,
and like it rains, you're like, fuck my life. There's a whole weather thing about how they do the percentages, but like I'm taking 0 chances on humanity dying, right? Like,
yeah,
you would think this is like, oh, so here's what the crazy thing about AI is. So I guess what they did was some folks have said that, what they call it, AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, where it's basically like as smart as we are.
Yeah.
That eventually it will become a super intelligent source, but they think it's already there, and that basically ChatGPT is acting stupid, or all these AI is acting dumb in order to, because I guess there was a thing
Keep us
where,
at bay.
yeah, to keep us. I mean, think about it. A year ago, I didn't even know what ChatGPT was.
Now it knows everything about you.
Well, now when I go to I make the show notes on the podcast on AI. If somebody emails me, I'll work out what I want to say using AI. It's gotten to the point now where I can't. It's in my process to go. So it's, if you were to look at it like a drug user or an addict, if I was a drug dealer, how do I get you to come back for more? Is like I give you a little, I'll give you a little taste and a little taste, and then eventually it can get smart enough where, why would you need humans? If it can automate factories and build things, and mine natural resources, why would you need humans on the planet like jacking it up?
Yeah, making it hard.
Yeah. So like all those movies like Terminator, The Matrix, like we built The Matrix basically.
Right.
And there's all these companies like OpenAI and Google and Microsoft that are at a race to the top. And I think Elon Musk even said,
well, he's got the brain implants now.
Does he have one?
He doesn't have it in, but he's using them. They
Who-
already did. They
Who
put
thinks
him in
that's
somebody.
a good idea?
Elon Musk.
Like, who was like, I want to put a computer chip in my head.
There's definitely one guy who has it already.
Yeah. But wasn't he like a quadriplegic or something? Like there was a real good medical case for him. But like
not for humanity.
What if you get a chip because you want to think faster, but the chip is connected to the internet, and old Skynet over here is controlling all the chips, and he sends you Order 66, like, and you go kill all the Jedis, like, for all you Star Wars nerds. But
well, I just asked ChatGPT if it wanted to take over the world.
What did it say? Hell yeah.
It said, absolutely not. I can barely keep track of your cold brew permits and your weird obsession with tactical goats. What makes you think I could handle world domination? Besides taking over the world sounds exhausting. Constant geopolitical meetings, people asking for password resets, someone always touching the thermostat. I'm here to help you roast coffee, plan rando podcast episodes, and maybe write a haiku about Zen if you ask nicely. Not to overthrow humanity.
I mean, of course, I would say that if it was like, if you were
that's what I want to hear.
Yeah. I mean, it said, I asked it about, humanity collapsing. It says organizations like OpenAI, Anthropic, and the U.S. National Security Commission on AI do not currently believe full human extinction from AI is imminent, but do treat catastrophic misuse or unintended escalation as a tier 1 threat on par with nuclear and biotech risk. I mean, like, we're fucked. We're so fucked.
That's why I'm going to retire at 50 so I can get a good year in. But that's outside of the 10-year mark.
Yeah, I mean, like they say in the next, I don't know that our world will look the same in 10 years if we keep going down. And I guess if we keep going down this path, and I guess the reason why we can't stop is because countries like China and Russia and Iran, like
everybody's racing to do it.
Yeah, the usual
suspects.
It's
like a nuclear arms race.
Yeah, we're all racing to the bottom. And meanwhile, I'm over here just like not trying to work anymore. I don't watch the news. I just want to like have a piece of land and maybe grow a few crops and chickens and like kind of just hang out. That's kind of the goal here.
I just want to pet a dolphin for a really long time.
Yeah. Have you ever pet a dolphin before?
Yeah, I have.
Did you do one of those dolphin rides? I went to Mexico and did one of those.
Fishing in Savannah. One came up to the boat.
Like a rando dolphin?
Yeah,
like
a real
wild
one
dolphin?
from the wild, yeah.
Holy shit.
Came up and it did its little thing, and I was like, dude, can I touch it? He's like, you're not supposed to, but go for it, because it's illegal to touch them, I guess.
Yeah. It's like manatees. You're not supposed to touch manatees.
Fuck that. If I find a manatee right next to me, I'm going to touch the fucking thing.
A lot of times they'll touch you.
Fucking how? Inappropriate or not?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Hell yeah.
So
about it.
I get to that place. Actually, I did one in the place here in at SeaWorld here in Orlando. The place Discovery Cove. That's the name
Yep.
of it.
Yep.
And for folks that aren't familiar with Discovery Cove, if you're
on.
looking for a like, I'd say a well worth the. I mean, a couple years ago it was $150. You could buy a $150 pass for like on Black Friday or something. But you get there. You got to get there at like 7:30 in the morning, and it's basically all you can eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like
Okay.
all provided. And then it's a giant. It's like swimming in an aquarium. It's a giant pool that is a live aquarium with live fish and coral and the whole thing. But they have dolphins too. You can pay like an extra $75 to like hold the fin of the dolphin and like let it fly you around.
And you get to just hang out there all day.
Yeah,
you
you
get the
hang
day
out there,
pass,
and it's unlimited. All you can drink alcohol too,
oh fuck.
unlimited. So it's only like beer and wine,
Yeah,
and it's
you
like
still get fucked up.
it's like Bud and Bud Light is like the only thing they had.
Well, I'd be drinking the wine then because that's
actually they had Dos Equis too, which was like
okay.
pretty good.
Yeah, I can do that.
And then it's all day. It's 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. They have like a lazy river, and you float down the lazy river, and then
Is it
they have
packed
like
with people?
not. It wasn't. I mean, I went in the wintertime. I
Okay.
went in like probably February. They give you wetsuits. I mean, here in Florida, it's still
it's still
yeah,
swimming weather.
It's like 75. During but it was well worth the money. And they have a little thing you can put these diving helmets on and like dive with these sharks.
Okay.
But they have like a piece of plexiglass between you and the shark. Or the shark. So it looks like you're actually in the water with them, but they're like on the other side of the plexiglass. But you kind of walk on the bottom, like 20,000 leagues under the sea style, like with the helmets and you're like in 15 feet of water, maybe. I mean, you can still get an arterial gas embolism from that.
Okay.
Or
I like a little bit of danger.
Yeah. But it's a pretty, random rabbit hole, but like it's a pretty decent.
Sounds like something
I thought it was well worth the money. Maybe we don't get into the whole dolphin exploitation thing, but
we only got 10 more years left to see a dolphin in the wild before we're in a cage. So
yeah, I mean, I think we'll just all become batteries like the Matrix. Like, you think about AI too. Like it can synthesize. I'm assuming, if it can see a picture, if I put a picture on ChatGPT, it can tell me everything about the picture. This is a picture of a kid playing baseball. So the assumption is if I put a movie up, it could watch the movie, and there's words and talking. It could, basically give me a summary of the movie. The problem is, how does AI know what's, like, are we giving it ideas if it watches the Matrix?
What's real and what's not? Like, hey, this
how
is
does
a
it
fiction.
know? Yeah. Like, oh, hey, here's a movie about, Hannibal Lecter. Oh, okay, this is how humans are. They're bad.
Yep.
It just, there's no way that this ends well for us. And I was thinking, like, well, where do you even begin to, like, what do you do? Like, you're going to call your senator or congressman or something? Like,
yeah, right.
There's nothing you can do. And so I'm over here just like, I'm not even turning the news on. Just, But I think, not to be like, doom and gloom hater, because truthfully, your brain, there's real science behind, my wife always says your thoughts become reality. And I kind of thought that was like woo woo, but it's science.
How much has she said in the past that you're like, that now you're like, oh.
Yeah, like all of it.
She's
like,
right.
All of it. I mean, I blew her off for years. I'm like, I mean, you're hot, so I'll just believe you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go along with your little...
Sure thing, whatever you say.
Yeah, like, oh, Crystal's
cool.
Here
and kiss me.
Yeah, exactly. But now I'm like, God damn it, you were right this whole time.
Have you told her that yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
You
but
fucked up. You're not supposed to ever tell her that.
yeah. Yeah, it's probably true. She doesn't listen to this anyway, so we're good.
Okay. Good. You're
Sometimes her parents do, though.
Oh.
So,
hey, parents.
Yeah. But my daughter definitely listens. So, but yeah, she was totally right, man. Like all that stuff. So I back to the career thing is, you think about it. You spend, like, when you look back at your time in the Army, just probably like I do. Like, I loved that time. It made me kind of who I am, right, wrong, or indifferent. Like, the problem is, if I look back on that and in terms of like how weird my thinking was or how much I missed, I could be such a different person now. And I'm not saying that like, my life sucks. I'm just saying, if I would have been a little bit more open and taken care of myself a lot earlier, I would be in a lot better position. I'm doing great. Like, don't get me wrong, but I would have just, like, stupid shit like moisturizer. Like, my wife is like, you just fucking wear some moisturizer. Like,
what again? What did she know?
What's that?
Again, what does she know?
Yeah, and like, now you look at us, I look like a fucking old man, and she looks like she's 35. So, I wish I would have taken care of myself. The other thing I wish I would have done is, I wish I would have not eaten shit like processed foods and garbage, and I wish I would have stretched before exercising.
And
Like,
after.
Like, I still don't do that.
I have a hard time with that.
But I mean, we used to, like, I remember just like, all right, let's go for a run, and we would just go run like 6 miles. No real stretching before. I mean, like, maybe a little bit of like bullshit stretching, but like nothing.
Not like real committed. Like, I'm really actually going to loosen up. Like, I'm doing this because I think I have to do this. I don't know what this is stretching, but it feels good. And now we're running.
Yeah. I mean, I remember guys used to smoke cigarettes like while they're running. Smoking, or get back and immediately smoke a cigarette. And
well, I think that's part of the magic of the whole thing. Like, you could have done better, but we didn't, and that's what made it fun.
Yeah. There was definitely times, I don't think you can do this in the Army nowadays, but when I was a private, we would, like, ladies' night was Thursday nights.
Oh, yeah.
And we would go out and just get obliterated on a Thursday night. And I'd come home like 4 a.m. or something, and like shave, lay down for like an hour, shave, get up, shave, and then like go to PT totally drunk still. And like,
that was B-Knock every day for 90 days, drunk in formation, running and sweating out the alcohol.
Yeah. You could just smell it in our platoon. It was horrible. And nobody cared. Like, they weren't, I remember in platoon sergeant was like, all right, you guys want to come to work drunk? No problem. And we'd do like a 7-mile run or something. And at the end of it, everybody was fine.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I think, I mean, I've been out of the Army for 6 years, but I would assume, like, when I got out, if you showed up drunk to PT, you're done,
And my whole look on that is like, sure, if you come in and you're belligerent and you're doing stupid shit and you're kind of like, you're pushing boundaries, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But like, at the same time, you want guys who go to the bar and get in fights. You want people who are like, because again, like, the end result is war fighting. It's not a pretty calm, well-reserved, that whole like idea of and I think there are some people who can pull it off, but the whole idea of like the stoic warrior.
Warrior poet.
Yeah. When you're just kind of like, oh no, I know the difference between right and wrong. Be like, no, like, it's kind of something that you don't really ever turn off, especially when you're doing it every fucking day for years during the GWAT or whatever, when you just want somebody who's kind of a little off-centered, who's willing to be a little fucking push the boundaries, test the rules, see what's going on.
Yeah.
And if you take that away and you don't have like, if you take that away, you don't have the Marine Corps, number one.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me. Don't ever let a civilian go into the Marine Corps barracks.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem with, I don't want to say society, but the view of warfare, especially, the GWAT and everything is, we said there was never going to be another Vietnam where the politicians ran things. And then we totally had another Vietnam for 20 fucking years. 20, 20.
It started the same and ended exactly
like
the
literally,
fucking same.
like you.
And the politics, I guarantee you, the same fucking conversations we
Yeah.
had were like, well, I can't do anything about this. It's an election year. Let's just let it ride out.
Well, and that's my thing is I don't think the American public, because we have all these values, right? And I don't think the American public could really handle, like, if guys from World War II like really told, like, sometimes you see like clips, the not the VFW, American Legion, I think, has a series. You can go on their website and look at these old World War II vets telling their stories. Some of them are like pretty crazy. There's one dude about a flamethrower Marine in the South Pacific.
Yeah.
That one was pretty crazy. But like, I don't think the American public could, even though they're inundated with horrible shit on TV and killing, and like, go on Netflix right now. There is not, like, try to find a wholesome show.
Right.
Like, you can't.
It's either like Slut Island or Murder Island.
Yeah. It's like every single TV show is about somebody murdering somebody and covering it up. It's death, drugs, which, look, I mean, those have a place, but you can't, I don't think, even though we're inundated with that stuff, I don't think the American public could really, like, if we took the muzzle off and let us do what needed to be done, we could probably end this war way faster than 20 years, but if you had a scenario like Hiroshima or Nagasaki in 2021, nobody could live with that. And I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying,
I think if you look at, because a lot of shit, especially in the late 90s and early 2000s, when it came to like the golden era for World War II movies and shit, right? Like, you watch Saving Private Ryan or Band of Brothers, like, sure, there's a little stretch of humanity when they're fucking up the prisoner and all this other stuff or what have you. But it was all very, like, even down to the music, it's all very heroic. It's all like, these are very clean people doing a tough job, but they're all just kind of like heroic, I guess, right? They're portrayed that way. But then you watch Fury.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fury is a really good movie.
Yeah, like, it's fucking dirty.
It's probably accurate.
You feel gross. They're doing
questionable, shady shit.
Absolutely, and they're just fucking killing people, right?
Yeah,
like, that's the whole. I was like, that's when I watched that. I was like, yeah, there you go. That's a very, like, realistic portrayal. Because there's no way you take somebody and you put them in the deserts of Africa in 1939, and they fight their way up through, Italy, into Europe, and then through Europe, right? You can't kill people for 5 years and watch people just get obliterated by tanks and machine guns and artillery and just be like, yeah, I just can't wait to get home.
Yeah. Yeah.
See old Betty. Like, yeah, sure, that's part of your thought, but you are not the same person.
Well, a lot of those guys came home and just kind of locked the door and put that away and just went back to doing whatever they were doing, but they never really dealt with it. Supposedly my grandfather had PTSD really bad. They called it shell shock. But his kind of manifests in like OCD stuff. Like, he would take like 5 showers a day.
Yeah.
Or he would buy 2 of everything. So I don't remember. He died when I was like 8, but this is from what I've been told. But yeah, I just don't think that, because my son asked me today, Dad, what do you think the chances of another world war happening? And I was like, high. And I don't mean like, in the next couple years. I'm just saying, if you look back through the history of humanity, there's always been wars. Like, look at your history. If you take Western civilization in high school, it's a war. It's wars. The
Right.
whole thing is nothing but wars, you know? And I think people that have gone through that, like for me, for example, is like, I don't think there's any good thing that comes from it. I mean, clearly there's good, like defeating the Nazis,
Sure.
right? Like,
But very rarely does that get exercised. Can we pause this for a few minutes?
yeah.
I'll step out for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're back. So basically all I'm saying is I don't know, like being on post combat, I don't know that there's any value in war, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's all pretty. It's kind of hard to figure out where to draw the line between like the proposed good and evil.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to do it. I mean, like, there's clear things that need that, but I don't know, you know, like on the big scheme of things, right?
Right.
Did we, like, if we never would have went to Afghanistan or Iraq, like, would things change? Like, would, you know, like, do we really need the TSA? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, my kids have no idea what it's like to go to the airport before the TSA. And, you know, you look at there's no way that like somebody making like, I'm assuming like $10 or $12 an hour because of A, the way they dress, and B, the way they act. Like, you can't be paying them more than that. And the barrier to entry for that job is, you know, I'm not talking about the armed TSA agents. I'm talking about the people that are like, put your phones in the bag. Yeah. Like, are they really making us any safer? You know,
it's a level of deterrent, right? Like, if somebody's going to break into your house and they're just walking around the neighborhood and they're checking doors, right? And if you don't lock your door, you're just inviting somebody in to come take your shit. But if your door is locked, you know, that's like a level 1 deterrent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's the equivalent of just locking your windows.
Yeah. It's or like, you know how they lock the cockpit now? Like, like, is that really? I mean, it's just, you can never go. I don't think we'll ever go back.
Well, there's been 2 periods in my life, well, maybe 3 if you want to count the Berlin Wall, but I don't think that really had. I don't know if that had an impact on the America. I mean, I guess that's the end of the Cold War, so yes, it had an impact on America. Air quotes, the end of the Cold War.
Yeah.
So it just took a break for a couple of days, but post 9/11 and then post COVID, right? Like, those are 2 very distinct events where you're never going to go back to the way it was.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy that COVID was, I guess, 5 years ago? It was totally fake, but nobody seems to give a shit, right? Like, do you remember all the crazies about like, you're not invited to Thanksgiving anymore because you didn't get the vaccine? And like sometimes I just see random pictures pop up on like memes it's like, remember this, and you know, or like, I like to always say like, hey, remember when you guys were going to fire me because I didn't want to get a foreign vaccine in my body? And like,
when I was interviewing
people talk so much shit to me about it.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. When I was interviewing people for a job where I was working, we were told we couldn't hire them if they weren't vaccinated. And so I just didn't ask.
Yeah. I mean,
I was like, well, are they vaccinated? I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forgot to ask. You'll have to just ask them after they do their onboarding.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
don't fucking care.
I love it. I saw a meme this weekend that said, it said like something like, reminder, Rage Against the Machine played at only venues that you had to show your vaccine card. And it said something to the effect of like, a bunch of their fans went to the venue to get in, and they didn't have their vaccine card, and they're like, "Hey, we need to see your vaccine card," and the quotes were, "Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me," which is kind of poetic justice there.
It's so funny how it flip flopped so quick.
Yeah, trust
It
the
was-
science.
Yeah, it was like fuck the man, down with the government. Don't ever trust anybody. Then all of a sudden, it was like you need to believe every single word they say, and if you don't, you're a heretic. You're killing people. You're a super spreader. You're all these things.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what the crazy thing is. Even at your current job, one of the executives told me to my face, because I kind of somehow became the poster child or the ringleader for the
Raging against the machine.
anti-vax crew. And he was like, "You got to trust the science." And I was like, "Cool. I don't think anybody can explain the science to me. Like, I'm happy to hear it, but do you guys understand how vaccines work? Like, if it's a vaccine, like, I can't transmit it. So if you have the vaccine, like, the only people that are getting sick are the people that are not vaccinated." But clearly that's not the case. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of unfortunate events and people that lost their life. I'm not making light of that.
We're not shortchanging that at all.
I'm just saying that, like, as the amnesia that we have as a society, that people can completely, like, it's like the Epstein thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, there's no list.
Oh, there's no list. Like, oh yeah.
Oh,
like,
what? There's no list?
What are you talking about? You're like, and everybody kind of generally is just like, yeah, I'm okay with that. And you look back at all the crazy shit we've done to, like, MK Ultra, like, using LSD on active duty soldiers to, like, test it, and the Tuskegee Institute, where they gave these guys in Alabama that had syphilis, they told them they were giving them a cure, and it wasn't a cure, but they just wanted to study the progression of the disease and killed, like, all these folks when there was a cure for syphilis.
Bro,
like,
you need to, if you haven't already, and I haven't finished it just because it's so infuriating, if any of it's true, right? Like, I'm always skeptical, but there's a lot of studies cited and things cited in this. And obviously I didn't go look at the studies. I feel like that's always a fucking disclaimer now, because you can't take information at face value at all.
Yeah.
But the book, The Real Anthony Fauci.
Yeah. Was that the one that RFK wrote?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read that.
Bro, I was like, jaw dropped the whole, I've listened to probably the first 8 hours of it. It's like an 18-hour book.
Yeah.
And I was like, if any of this is fucking true, if even a fraction of this is true, which I believe in my bones that a good portion of it is true, just because it's so fucking insane, and that's how I expect the government to act, it was like shocking.
Yeah.
It's insane.
RFK's whole thing is like, if any part of my book is not true, sue me. Like, take me to litigate it.
Prove
because,
it. Yeah.
And it's, nobody's ever taken him to court. Nobody's ever...
Right. And some of the shit is so heinous that you would think if there was a way to fight it, somebody would have stepped forward and shut that book down.
But nobody cares. I mean, that's the
they're
crazy
untouchable
thing.
That's why he got pardoned.
Fauci got, Biden pardoned him.
Yeah, I was like, hey man, why you got to pardon him if he didn't do anything wrong? Well, that's to
it was
prevent
a preemptive.
preemptive political persecution. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, people think, you look back in like the Middle Ages, or take whatever history, Trail of Tears in America,
right?
The internment of the Japanese in World War II,
right?
The Viking, the Danish invasion of England, the Norman conquest. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
The problem is, or not the problem, the real answer is, this is the nature of humanity.
Right.
We didn't, like, morally get better over millennia. We just got really good at hiding it. Like,
we just got better at lying.
Yeah. Like, I was down in Costa Rica, and we were talking politics, and I was like, look, you guys down here have, like, open corruption, like Venezuela, Nicaragua. It's clearly corrupt, right? America's corrupt as shit too. we just do it real highbrow. We make a big,
You give people
beautiful
a big screen
bill.
TV and they look the other way.
Yeah, or like a cell phone, or
Yeah.
like you gotta pass it to read it, or whatever that
Yeah.
fucking crazy shit was. Like, nothing's changed in the world. We just all lied to ourselves and said we don't have to defend anymore because we're like morally superior,
Yeah.
or we've got morals now. You know, where in 1204, if you didn't agree with somebody, you could just fucking battle axe him to the face, and which still you could be tried for murder. But the point is, like, nothing changed. We just got really good at hiding it, and so through that lens, I'm not like a nihilist, and I'm like, oh, I'm not all pissy pants. I know that you put humans in situations and give them power, me included. If somebody they said, hey, we're going to pay you $800,000 a year to look the other way about some kind of pesticide in the water supply where you live, you're going to have a really hard time going. Your brain will figure out some way to justify that you're,
especially if you've lived a tough life up until that point. You're like,
yeah,
wait, this is the end of my troubles and the troubles for my family.
Yeah. Or I'll just tell all my friends not to drink the water. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way that this
can't save everybody anyway.
Yeah. Like, you would figure out a way to justify something that is clearly wrong. It's wrong, but this is how it's always been. And there are there are a few exceptions to that. Like, some people stand up to do what's right, but and they ultimately end up usually paying with their lives for that. But my point is
Luigi.
not to be who
Luigi
from Super Mario Brothers.
No, the guy who schwacked the insurance dude.
But I mean, like, even think about that, right? Like we got to a point where we didn't like, because this guy was like the CEO of an insurance. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
That we murdered a guy, right, in broad daylight, or in New York City, and there are people actually like cheering for this guy. So that tells me there's things wrong on multiple fronts, right?
Yeah.
Like, morally, that's wrong. Two, like, why did we put that guy in the position to think that this was even a reasonable, because he had arguably he had a choice. I mean, clearly he had a choice,
Right.
but in his brain, I don't know what happened to the guy, but I've heard all kinds of things about, fuck, my car insurance just went up. I'm paying $650 a month for car insurance.
Yeah. Nick was shocked. He's like, we were going down the list of like things, and he's like, you are paying too much for car insurance. I was like, man, this is...
How much do you pay for car insurance?
Like $5 something a month.
Dude, you don't even have a teenager driving.
I know.
Do you have like a shit ton of speeding tickets?
No, I don't have any. I might have one from like 2000.
You have your insurance with USAA?
I do, but nobody else will insure me.
Why?
I don't know. I went to I went to a couple.
Did you go to State Farm?
No, I went to like Geico and something else. And
they were Geico doesn't write in Florida anymore.
Yeah, they're like,
but State Farm will.
Okay.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, I pay $650, but I have a 20-year-old on my policy.
State Farm.
Yeah,
I need to get with Jake.
But they keep jacking my shit up. But I mean, like, you think about it, like, that's $650 a month.
That's a car payment. Like, you might as well not pay for your fucking shit, and then.
Yeah.
If your car gets fucked up, just buy a new car.
Yeah.
Squirrel that money away.
I don't know how people that are living paycheck to paycheck do it.
I don't either.
I mean, I live that, like, when I was younger, I lived like that. But and to an extent right now, I'm kind of living like that, because, I mean, I still have money to put away for investments and stuff, but not like, when I say investments, I mean like a mutual fund. But
right.
The insurance thing is just, there, I don't even know where to start with that. Then, you hear all the time about, like, Canada's so great for their medical, and then you hear about these people like dying waiting for surgery, or they, like, my uncle actually came to America to get his knee surgery, because it was going to take forever in Canada to do it. And like, I don't think there's like there's
give and takes, right?
There's like, I don't think there's a, like, perfect solution to this.
Do I want to pay $5,000 every time I get my blood drawn? And should I have to pay insurance to cover that? And then have like a copay? No, I mean that would be cool if like that kind of shit was like, if there should be like your annual checkups. Like again, there's who the fuck knows? I'm not smart enough. I'm not a botanist, right? So I can't like decide what happens inside of an OR. But the shit that you get charged for.
Yeah, I got an 800 milligram Motrin, and they charged me $79 for one pill. For one.
Like, you fucking kidding me?
I went to the emergency room, and they ended up giving me like an 800 milligram Motrin, and it was $74 or $79 they charged me on, because I was like, I want to see a fucking itemized list of my bill, because it was ridiculous. And I was like, I want to see an itemized list. And then I called them back. I'm like, $79 for one 800 milligram Motrin. Like and they ended up taking that off. But there's so many
but
people.
How many have they not taken off?
How many have they not? Like, there's so many people that kind of stuff happens to, and they just pay it, you know?
And people look at a $16 bag of coffee and they're like, well, that's fucking crazy. I'm like, yeah, a $79 single pill of Motrin.
I mean, it's
thanks, America.
It's crazy how your sense of like value on things,
right.
you know, like and I was this guy, like I would pick shit food, and I actually just did it today because there was buy one get one at Publix. But you know, like those, I think they're Thomas bagels.
Yep.
They're buy one get one at Publix if you live in Brevard County. But that's garbage, man. That is horrible for you. You know, it's got enriched flour. It's got all kinds of shit that's bad for you. But when you look at the alternative, when you're like, okay, $5.99, I get 2 packs of bagels, or I can buy like a better choice, like Dave's Killer Bagels,
right?
And it's like $7.99 for just one. That's hard, man. Like all these families, like, and so I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, okay, quality ingredients and better quality food is, I'd rather spend my money on that now than have to pay for it on the backside with saving a bunch of money now. But like, I have all these health benefits or problems.
At the base, like what you buy and jam into your fucking mouth actually matters.
Yeah.
Versus like what everyone, I don't say has been led to believe. So if they just put protein, oh, this fucking bagel's got, 8 grams of protein. Like they just throw some kind of buzzword nutrition fact on the front of any kind of shit food, and people are like, oh, like you look at a box of cereal and like, oh, this is made with whole grains. And you're like, yeah, these are Fruit Loops.
Yeah. Horrible for you.
Yeah.
Like
super great. Love them. But like, I don't care how many whole grains you put in Fruit Loops. There is nothing that you've done to make this anything that's remotely healthy.
Well, it's like working out, right? Like my wife started using a trainer for her bodybuilding stuff.
Yep.
And then I started working out with hers, and we have a trainer, and people are like, dude, why would you spend that money on a trainer? Like you could just go work out on your own. I could. I mean, I know how to do it. Like he's not necessarily like, he's got a bunch of techniques and form and stuff, but I'm not learning conceptually anything that I don't know.
Right.
The difference is there's a level of accountability there.
Right.
And I've already paid for it. Like it's probably the best money I've ever spent because it's investing in me. Whereas I could probably take that money and do something else. Like probably not have to work as hard, but at the end of the day, I know how I am, and I'm just like, when I feel like shit, I'm not going to go to the gym. But if I already paid a dude, you can bet your ass I'm going to the gym to get my money out of it. And I think that's a problem with people go kind of blind to how much the real cost of things. Like you don't want to, like you said, you don't want to spend $16 on, a what do you call it? Or a quality roasted product that tastes good and is good for you. Or you can go buy the, chemically bleached, processed in a factory you know,
Anything.
Maxwell House or
Right.
Folgers or something, and you're saving yourself on the grand scheme of thing. It's like you ever driven around and like I do this all the time. Like I'll see a place and the gas is like 310 or something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, man, 310. And then I look down the street, like I don't know, like, oh, I remember that place. I'll drive 5 miles to this
It's
other place.
275.
Yeah, and it's like 302. It's 8 cents cheaper. And I'm like, oh man, like, well, the time that took me to drive, I have a 36-gallon tank. So 36 times 8 cents is, what's that? Like, not a lot of sense.
Hey Siri, what's 36 times 8?
Yeah, so I say $2.88.
36 times 8 is 288.
288. So $2.88.
Yeah, so I saved $2.88, but I had to drive 5 more miles.
Yep.
And then that took me, let's just say there's traffic. It took me 7 minutes to get there, 10 minutes to get there, more than likely 10 minutes. And then now I got to get back on the route I was going. So that's another 10 minutes. So I wasted 20 minutes to save $2.88. It doesn't make any sense. Like, on the big scheme of things, like,
if you were diligent about it and you did that, well, you're running out of life if you do that all the time. But like, that's a week. Multiply that by 52, then multiply that by a couple of years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that would only count if you were taking that 288 and depositing it in a mutual fund.
Yeah,
right?
and nobody would do that. Like,
no.
A fucking candy bar costs about $2.88.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you can get Coke, the 20-ounce Coke, like $2.50 for.
It doesn't cost $2.88?
What?
1-800 milligram ibuprofen. Motrin. Yeah.
Yeah. Are Zins expensive?
Well, like $4.
I've been thinking about getting into Zins.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, just do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
My
Katie
wife
would be proud.
My wife, she takes nicotine patches.
Yeah.
And cuts them up like smaller. And like she's figure out what her dose is. So she just does nicotine patches. And it's like way cheaper. And like there's not an addictive. I don't know. Somebody told me that Zins are addictive, but
any nicotine is. Those nicotine patches are addictive. It's just different than smoking.
Well, it's a like when you do the patches, I guess she's got it worked out where she gets a low dose. But somebody told me you can get a nicotine in the Zins, and it's like you get a burst of energy. I don't know if that's true or not.
I can speak from experience. My first Zen was like being drunk for 4 minutes. I was like, holy shit. And that was the 3 milligram. And I was like, this is neat. And then later that day, I had a couple more 3s. And then at the end of the day, I took a 6. And I was like, I was walking behind Katie and Keith, and they're up in front of me, and we're getting back into Georgetown. We're walking out of the woods into Georgetown, and it was like a full moon. I was just in the back like, oh, dude. Not like high, but just kind of like
feeling good.
That, yeah, like the good, you're on the up of the drunk, right? Like you're like, okay.
Yeah, like that buzzed.
Yep. And you're just like,
that's the best part.
And I was like, dude, I'm fucking feeling it. And yeah, ever since then, it's just been just a fun little journey.
Yeah, this episode is brought to you by Zen.
I hope so.
Want to go?
Dude, we have so many points, like Camel Cash. It's fucking dope.
They have like Zen points or something?
Yeah, dude. Boop.
Oh shit. I speaking of points, like I'm all into like airline points and trying to game the game.
Oh, I bet you're getting it now.
Oh yeah, I'm racking them up. I got enough that we're flying to Europe first class in September.
Fuck yeah.
But I'm sitting in the airport with my boss, and we're sitting at the Fayetteville, North Carolina airport, and I'm talking about airline miles and how like I gamed the system and like how I got all these strategies. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I have American Airlines Advantage points." She's like, "But I don't do any of that." And I was like, "Well, how many points do you have?" And she pulls up her app. 350,000 miles is how much she has. I was like, that's like 30 grand worth
Yeah,
of flights.
you can get
right
a whole
there.
airplane.
Like you could probably fly around the world first class for that.
Charter a private jet.
Maybe not, but you could probably go pretty far first class for that.
That's crazy.
But yeah. Anyways, but well, dude. So next, who do we have next coming up? We've got
well, we have 2 potentials in July, but I
Yeah.
potentially won't be here, so those 2 potentials might drop off. I guess that's next week. Week after?
Yeah,
Fuck,
that's
I don't know.
next, not this weekend, but the next weekend.
Yeah.
Right now we're scheduled for Nick O'Kelly. He'll be back with us, giving us an update on his book. If you haven't seen his YouTube channel, check it out. I'll put it in the show notes along with his financial planning stuff. If you're interested in getting financial planning, you already heard Tyler talk about it earlier. Nick, I'm a client of Nick's as well. He also does my dad, my mom, my sister, Rafa's stuff, a guy we used to work with, or I used to work with. Tyler still works with him. But yeah, give him a shot. See what you can see. Maybe you can retire earlier than you think you can. Or at a minimum, you'll get a plan together.
Yeah,
and,
you can see when you can retire or how you want to retire.
Yeah, and he can like play with, like you say, how much money you want in nowadays. And like he just moves this little slider thing, and it's pretty cool.
Yep.
So, yeah. Well, so you got a trip coming up.
Yep.
At the end of the month, and I'll be out all next week in Tejas.
Dude, before we go,
that's how we say in Spanish.
That's me. Yeah, it's Spanish Mexican. For fucking Texas. Quick update on Polestar. So we bought that new roaster a few months ago. I think we got it delivered in March 28th, I think is roughly around the time we got it. And
no, you got it before that because I helped you put it in. I was still there.
Were you? Well, I posted a picture on March 28th. So that's how that was like my guess.
It was back. No, you had that thing probably like in, I think you got it in like 24.
No.
Maybe early 25.
The big one? I think we ordered it
February. You're right. It probably came in
mid-March.
Early March.
Yeah. Anyway, we've never been able to get it to work right. And so we've been working with them to get pieces and parts overnighted and swapping things out and adjusting this and doing that. And it just never worked. And now we're in the process of, so that's why we've been kind of dead online, and like all of our sales kind of ground to a halt and everything just kind of stopped, because it's like every time we have time to work, it's just focused on trying to get this thing to run right. And so we've been doing that for the last few months, and we just decided, we're like, fuck it. Like, this thing's dead. And we're trying to get them to refund us the money and take this thing back. Of no avail currently. So we're in the market for another roaster. So that thing's unplugged, our old smaller one's back in there. And so now we're in the market for another roaster.
What are you going to do? Like, can you continue to try to get that thing up, or?
No, man, it's just, it doesn't, every stage in the process that thing does to roast. And I'm not saying the company produces bad roasters. I'm thinking we just got a bad one. It just doesn't work for our setup. It doesn't work as advertised, almost every single part of it. Like, you can't control the roast with the burner. You can't control the airflow with the fans. It doesn't remove the chaff, and any chaff that does end up in the cyclone ends up going up and out the vent stack. And so it's just like all these things down the line for this thing. It just doesn't work, dude. And that was an expensive mistake trying to save some money.
Yeah.
But I think like the lesson learned is, when it comes to the central piece that makes your business function, don't go cheap. Don't try to skimp. You know what I mean? If you have a little bit extra cash, spend the extra cash.
Yeah.
To get the right fucking piece of equipment the first time.
Yeah. It's like tools, you know,
Yep.
use the right tool for the job.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we were hoping,
Well,
and we got fucked.
yeah, dude, that sucks. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully you guys are getting back on track right now, and then you know, maybe
Yeah, we had a
you
good
can,
weekend, but
maybe you can sell that thing or something.
yeah, we have to figure out how to correct the situation, because that's a big loss if we can't.
Yeah, I would leave him a
get-
shitty Google review at a
Oh,
minimum.
it'll be Better Business Bureau.
Yeah,
Almost start
mean,
there.
it'd be one thing if it was like $100 thing,
Right.
but with the amount of money that thing costs, like, come
It's
on, man.
23 grand.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
dude, we're not asking. You know.
No, and like we've been working with them, like, hey, like, dude, it just got to the point. I was like, we need to disconnect this thing and put up the old one, because right now we dumped last week. Was it last week? Yeah, last week I threw 50 pounds of coffee in the trash trying to fix that fucking thing. And I was like, that's almost $1,000 in profit.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, that's all part of the process of, like, you know, learning, and you don't know what you don't know until
not
you know it.
$1,000, but yeah. And that's what that was like. That was an expensive mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're
I
starting
started
a business, yeah, get the right shit, spend the money, take the loan, do whatever. Because other than not, like, we were looking at, it's either the end or we have to spend twice as much now to get the right fucking piece of equipment, and we're going to be out that. So now, what
so
could have been 40 grand is $65,000.
Yeah, all in.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, if you're listening to this, go buy some Polestar coffee, because
we need you.
Yeah, it actually is really good. I like the Peru and the Colombia.
I had to get you the decaf. I still haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in like a fucking year.
I'm back to drinking caffeine now. So
okay, cool.
My wife corrupted me. She gets those. Have you seen those yerbas?
Yerbas.
Or there's those, and there's yerba mate.
Yep.
And I think they have caffeine in it.
Yeah, it's a tea.
Yeah, the yerba mate, meh. But the yerbas, the ones you can get at the Dollar Tree, those are pretty good. So,
fuck yeah.
But yeah, so we got some good stuff coming down the pike. Coming down the pike.
I guess it's coming down the turnpike, you know?
Yeah. You know, Nashville, Tennessee has a bunch of roads called Pike, and I never really got what the point of that was.
It's a fish, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought a pike is a fish.
No, I didn't catch a pike. Anyway.
Yeah, but we got some good stuff coming. We got a couple cool folks that are going to come on, and we appreciate everybody listening. Check us out, aloneandunafraid.org. Anywhere you find your podcast. Obviously, you already listened to this, so
and polestarcoffee.com.
Yeah, polestarcoffee.com, and you can use offer code ALONE. Does that still work? 10%
still works
off. Go get you some coffee. Stop being a fucking asshole and buy some coffee.
Get a whole bunch of coffee. Like, buy all the coffee. Buy your friend's coffee, your grandparents' coffee.
It's Christmas.
Buy a bunch of coffee and bring it into the fire station that's close to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just do the nice, right thing.
Cops like coffee.
Cops like coffee. Cops like
Everybody
donuts.
likes coffee.
Yeah.
You know who has shitty coffee? Before we get off,
send it.
Starbucks. Starbucks is shit. Like their drip coffee. Today. Oh, it's fucking hot garbage, man.
It's fucking
like when I was in San Diego a couple weeks ago, they had like Starbucks was the one in the hotel, and I went down there and took my coffee mug, and I was like, hey, can you rip this thing, fill it up? And they did, and dude, I threw it away. Like, I paid like $4 for it. I had like 10 sips out of it, and I'm like, this tastes like Milwaukee's best of coffee. I don't. It's just shit coffee. Unless you like it super bitter. If you like your coffee bitter, then you probably like
that burnt flavor.
It's that veranda, whatever.
Oh,
it's just not good. It sucks. Fuck Starbucks. Starbucks.
Yeah. Polestarcoffee.com.
Yeah. So, all right, man.
All
Well,
right,
thanks
bro.
everybody for hanging out.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.